15 minutes and they are not connected. So we are going to start our session today. Those who want to record, before I start talking about it, can request now.
I want to record. Marinette.
Okay.
Can I record too, please? Patrick.
Patrick, okay.
Thank you.
No problem, sir.
Oh, Marinette, please.
Sure. Oh, I already gave the permission to Marinette, right?
Oh, no. Oh, let me see.
Herman, please.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Who else? Aman?
Herman, yes, please.
Okay, Aman, okay.
Brian.
Brian, okay. Okay. So basically, as I suggested for the morning class, because you guys also have a Dropbox.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
But it doesn't work. Doesn't work well for you or what? Why do we need to record individually?
For some people try to access that, but it's not going. But for me, it's going. It's just that one of the Anita, I didn't see Anita on the group because he always does that.
Okay.
Wait, what are you saying? I'm here.
Have you ever tried? Have you ever tried Google Drive? All my previous classes have been using Google Drive, and from there, we can have an admin. Not that everybody can just use the common credential. Somebody has a credential, but he just gives you access, access to to access the videos and watch the videos. I think you have to think about it. That is what all my previous classes have been doing. So, and with that, I think I don't need to grant permission to everybody like this. I can just 2 or 3 people or 1 person even can record, and the person will just upload the video later after the class.
Please, I have a question with the concerning the Google Drive. Is there unlimited space?
It's 1 terabyte. Let me check. It's about 1 terabyte, so you can take all your videos, your class videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do have.
In case you want to buy more space, you can buy more space. But easy access. Okay, I think for additional space, you have to pay something. Okay, but you can take a lot of videos. All the previous classes, all their GB1 videos, recording, GB2 project are still there. And I saw some space there again, some available space. So you can try that and see. Okay, I don't know. Maybe you can have a better experience, because I'm not sure, every day I will be granting privilege to everybody like this. I'm not sure.
Well, in this class, it's not usually that many people. It's usually less than.
Oh, yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, less than 5 people.
Why do you have just 19 people in the meeting, but in the class group, I can see about 40 people? That's one.
I guess some people join in the morning, and I think so, mostly.
Okay. Okay. I see the numbers. In the morning, I have more than 70 people, and in the evening, I have about 44, including myself. Okay, I include myself, so 44 participants. But in the morning, I see where is that? In the morning, I see about 80 participants. The WhatsApp.
80?
Yeah, 80.
Oh, on WhatsApp?
Yes, WhatsApp.
Okay.
But in the morning, I saw about around 40 something participants in the Zoom. 40 something, I think 45, 49 people who attended the session. Okay, so here I have 19. Okay. That means we have some people who are no longer part of this program still in the WhatsApp group. Okay, I have to figure out that one. Because even with the list I received, for group members, the total for the morning class was 13, 23, 32, 41, 47. So 47 members in the morning class, 47 active members, but I see 80. So meaning the additional number of people we have to figure out, okay? Who are they? We have to know if they are part of this program or not. Same thing for evening. We have to figure out that. Okay.
Please, I have a suggestion.
Yes, please.
If you do not want to have to like give everyone the permission to record, you can always make someone else the host, and then they can handle that instead of you.
Why do I need to be the host sometimes? Because I can easily monitor background noises. That's why I like to be the host. Because sometimes when I'm teaching, people can, not really on purpose, but people they unmute themselves and start talking or making noises. And that can, disturb the entire class. That's why when I can easily mute people frequently, easily. For me, to mute is very easy. I don't have any problem with that. I always have the list of members on the site. If I hear any background noise, I will mute everybody. You want to talk, you unmute yourself to talk. So that's why I like to be the host of this session.
Makes sense.
So, for recording, maybe when I join, okay, the first 10 minutes or 5 minutes, I will just grant the permission, okay? Maybe we handle like that. Whoever wants to record, I will just grant the permission, okay? Or maybe I will try to see on Zoom if I can just enable that that feature so that whenever you join, you don't need to ask for permission. Automatically, you can record whenever you want. I think that I can do that. So don't worry, I will try to handle if you guys.
That's good.
That.
This class is not going to give you a hard time because not that many people compared to the morning class, like not more than 5 people usually record.
No, don't worry. In the morning, they are good. Good experience, even though they have much more people, but good. So don't worry about it.
Okay. We'll get to.
Thank you. All right. So that was just what I wanted to emphasize about recording. Okay. Let me introduce myself. Yeah. Before we can move forward. Okay. My name is Gaetan Waje, as you can see here on the description. I've been a Brontech student like you guys. Brontech product from class 20, I think. I've been working for about 2 years now, both as an Oracle database administrator and as a cloud engineer. What does it mean cloud? What do I mean by cloud engineer? It's somebody who supports customers in the cloud. And I work for Oracle Corporation, mainly as a cloud engineer, as I said. And I am based here in the GMV area. I was in Texas before, but I came back because I am now in charge of monitoring government data. And for that, you have to be around so that in case there's anything, you can just, take your car, drive, and go there and see what to do. My office is in Virginia, but I work 100% home. whenever I need to go to the office for emergency purpose, I can just take my car 45 minutes, rest on, and I can just go there and do whatever I have to do. So again, I mostly support cloud databases, meaning that I mostly work as a support for those government agencies. So whenever they have issues with their databases or anything, the ticket will come to us, to my team, and we can help. Okay, we want to make sure that they always have access to their data. Okay, they want to assist the customer directly. And frequently, I'm really involved in a lot of other technologies. Okay, I'm not just involved in Oracle product because I work with Oracle databases. I work with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, that is a cloud provider. I also work for Amazon Azure, where I do multiple migration. I'm even in a migration project now. Also, I worked sometime on AWS for another migration project. What else? And also, I'm working on a technology called Exadata. Exadata is basically a platform owned by Oracle as well. So I'm mostly specialized on Oracle, but frequently I work on other technologies. Again, Microsoft Azure, and a little bit of AWS. A little bit only when it comes to migrations project. Whenever a company wants to migrate its databases to the cloud, okay? I'm always involved in a lot of projects like that. So that is part of my daily activities. So that is why I reduced my sessions from 4 hours to 3 hours with Brontech. So because every day I'm involved in a lot of meetings, and I cannot teach for 4 hours straight. So I cut it down to 3 hours. So, and because I want to balance things, I want it, if in the morning I teach 3 hours, I have to teach on evening 3 hours. I should not spend more time with a class than another one. So that is how it should be. So when it comes to this timing, we are going to discuss about it. So when it comes to Brontech, that is about who I am and what I do. When it comes to Brontech, I started working with Class 21 when I was involved in summaries. What do I mean by summaries is after the person who was in charge of project, after him, I will come and I will summarize all the projects for the class. So I will, all the project you will be doing with me, I will come and summarize, okay? Make it a bit easier than, shorter, right? Short summaries, what you need. And after that, I will take care of hot seats. What is hot seat? A hot seat basically is interview prep. I was doing interview preparation. Basically because after this program, you guys will be going to the interview. You'll be taking interviews, right? And for that, you have to be prepared. You will have face-to-face interviews, okay? And multiple stuff. Okay, 1 second, please. I'm receiving a call. 1 second, please. Sorry, 1 second. All right, sorry, I was receiving a call, as I said. What was I? Okay, so I was saying was involved in summaries and also hot seat, interview prep, when you have to, prepare a student for the interviews by doing what we call face-to-face interviews. So I will take someone and the person will sit on the chair and I will have a face-to-face conversation, a kind of simulation, okay, of an interview. So that is what I was doing with class 21 and class 22. And I definitely started on project with class 23, then class 24, and you guys class 25. And so now I'm mostly involved in working with project and also doing summaries. So I will still do summaries, but I will no longer do hot seat, okay? I'm no longer available for hot seat, but someone else will take care of it, of hot seat now. And the person will help you for the interview preparation as well. What else? I think that is all I have about myself. So, any question regarding what I just said?
Please, I have a question.
Yes, please.
This is actually concerning the interview process. I know most of the database interviews are usually like panel interviews. So do we like, does Bronte like teach you how to do the panel interviews?
Interview, panel interviews. Panel interview is just, you just have multiple people in the interview, okay? That will be interviewing you. And they may have different questions or different skills. So that one, if you know how to handle one person, you can handle multiple people. They will not kill you, okay? So Brontex just helps you, to see how to behave in an interview, okay? You know how to approach some questions. Not everything, but just that courage to get prepared basically for an interview. When it comes to panel interview, that is something that can also be simulated in the class. So like when we usually do that among ourselves, you guys can do it among yourselves. We usually create panels among ourselves. With that one, teacher were not involved because hot seat is just a teacher and one person. But if you want to simulate, panels, as we usually do, I will just call you on Skype and I will have two people around me. We can ask you questions and we will see how you answer. Don't worry about panel stuff. If you can handle one person, then you can handle multiple people, okay? So it should not be an issue. So what Brontech does in summaries or hot seat is just to, Mr. Brenda will also come back in whenever it comes to soft skills. Brontech is going to help you on that, how to introduce yourself and how to, to approach some type of questions, basically. Does it make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.
I have a question.
Somebody has their hand.
I have a question.
Yes, sir. 1 second, sorry. Somebody
Okay.
I wanted to make sure that the person still wants to ask the question or not. Okay, Mr. Patrick, you can go ahead. When the person, if no.
Yeah, from your experience, what part of project student usually struggle or interview? What part?
What part? They usually struggle on the last project I will be working on, RAC. Okay, I can just give you a guarantee on that one. We perform better with the previous class because that is where we spend more time with you guys. Normally, how does it work with project? Again, before I proceed, I will just, give you a big thumbs up. You guys have made it till here. You survive GB1 and GB2. You are here now. But with me now, things are different, a bit different than what you guys have been doing before. Before you were studying because you have an exam at the end of GB1 or GB2. You have an exam that you have to pass. With me, the exam is every day. The exam depends on you, okay? You will not have a practical exam where you have to pass or fail. With me, if you fail, it's because you were unable to configure something, you were unable to perform a project. For instance, I'm covering performance tuning, Oracle 12c, and project. All the project, I will do all the project on 12c. We will not touch 11G. We won't work on 11G anymore. Just an addition, okay? With project, we have expectations. So you have to configure whatever project you have, okay? You have to configure with your group and you have to meet the deadlines, okay? If the project is set for 2 weeks, within the 2 weeks, you have to complete the project. Don't worry, I will give you the material ahead of the time so that you don't have any excuse, okay? By the end of this week, all the project material, you have everything, okay? So that you are prepared. So if you fail, or if you don't perform a project with your group, that means that is where you fail your exam. So we have multiple projects, but where people are struggling, okay, a lot, because it's huge. It's very huge, the last project, RAC. It's very huge. That is why I mostly spend about a week or two teaching that and also doing hands-on practicals. So showing you some stuff that are important for you guys. So also, people also struggle on performance tuning because some people are still on one way of thinking, okay? Some people, okay, that is the purpose of the presentation I'll be doing. So people are afraid of performance tuning and RAC. I'll just tell you the truth. But other project is fine. RAC, the issue with RAC is because it's very broad. It's very broad and a lot to cover. And you will almost never miss it in an interview. I can tell you if you want a job as Oracle GBA, projects are really, really critical, very critical. Whatever you learn so far, very good, okay? I can just make mention of key topics you did earlier that are very critical for you. Arman, very critical, very, very critical when it comes to backup, recovery, cloning, duplication, very, very critical. Data pump, very, very critical. Architecture, that's what we'll be doing today, very, very critical. A lot of stuff, flashback, important as well. Not that critical, but important. Security, and so on. So all those areas are good, okay? But most of them, we'll be doing them at work. But when it comes to project, most of the time, more than 70% of the time, you will get at least an interview with project. All interviews, right? You have at least all interviews, at least you have at least 1 or 2 projects in that interview. I can guarantee you 100%. You will never have an interview without one of the projects I'll be teaching. Never. Okay? So now everything depends on you guys. It depends on you. Those who don't want to work, you will stay behind. By the time we get to the 3rd project, you will still be on the 1st project. And I will advise everybody to move as a crowd. If you want to stay behind, you will stay behind all the way to the end. And that is where you fail, okay? I don't know if I answer your question, sir.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. All right.
I have another question.
Any other thing? Any question?
Yes, I have a question. So you apparently you've been in the field for quite some time now. I just wanted to know, I'm actually just thinking ahead now. I just wanted to know how your first job was, or if it's still your current job, but how was your first job and like the first few months? Was it like, did you feel confident, or like what are the challenges you think we are going to face on the first job?
Myself is a bit different. My first job was with a recruiting company, a consulting company, a company that hires DBAs and assigns DBA to project. Okay, so they hire you. Okay, the name of the company, when you get them, you hear of a company called Infosys. That was the first company. They hired me, but they put me on bench. On bench means they just put you till you get a project. I got tired the first month because I spent 1 month, even though they were paying me, that's fine. But if you are as a GBA, you stay a month or 2 or 3 without working, I can guarantee you'll forget a lot of stuff. And I wanted to stay active, okay? Even though I was in an interview room, helping people to get jobs as well, I decided to go back into the market with one job, of course. But I was not working again. I was on bench, but I wanted to be active, to work, to see how it looks like, not just to stay and eat the money and, you know, relax. So I went back to the market on February. I got that job on December 31st. I spent January helping, but I decided to go back in the market on February with the other jobs still available with me. So, and when I got back February, I got another offer letter, and I decided to, so in that time now I was handling 2 companies. One company I was on bench, another company I decided they sent me to Texas. That is when I went to Houston, Texas, and I started working for American Insurance Group. Also for another recruiting company. It was not a, you know, even though it was full-time, but recruiting company pick you, they send you to a client, and once you are done there, they send you to another client. So you'll be moving around the state. That's how it works. So I went there, and when I went to that company, then I dropped, you know, before I even go there, before I even get that offer, I was already interviewing with Oracle company. I already took 3 technical interviews because I had to go through 3 technical interviews of 1 hour per interviewer. And I already took the 3 technical interviews before the other company even gives me the offer, and I went to Texas. So while I was working in Texas, and then because I really wanted to work for Oracle, so when I got them, then Oracle called me, they gave me the offer, and I decided to come back because I had to be around. As I told you guys in the beginning, I had to be around. So, and I came back here, and that is how I started working with Oracle company. I started with the other company, but I proceeded with Oracle Corporation. And as Oracle Corporation, the other one was on site, but Oracle Corporation, 100% remote, unless, again, there's an emergency. So I've been working from home, and when I was going to the office is the most difficult part, because when you go to the office, you don't know how to behave, you don't know how to deal with people, you don't know the expectations, a lot of pressure. And also, when I got there in Houston, I was in a department of more than 100 people, and I was the only Black guy, okay? So you can know that when you get to a department like that, you are surrounded by Chinese, people from China, people from Japan, people from Europe, people from India, people from South Mexicans, and people and Native Americans. So you are the only Black guy. Sometimes you feel, you know, feel like they won't like you. And the only thing was just to, you know, just to know how to interact with people, okay? Just be kind, calm, don't talk too much. If you are talkative, it's not good. Don't show them you know a lot because they don't like it. So just be somebody who just see, even if they don't like you, okay? Even if they see you, they just smile. Just be cool. You see somebody smile, you say, hey, how are you? Okay? As time move on, you will notice whether they like you or not. And I never care about you liking me or not, okay, at work. You like me or not, I'm here to do my job, okay? And that's it. Quite challenging, first day at work, but I can tell you that it's not difficult at all. Before you start any job, you can watch some YouTube videos, because that's what I did. First day of GBA at work, I watched that, and it was really helpful. Okay, it helped me to relax more and to be more confident when I got there. So it was not a bad experience. Instead, it was quite good because whatever they were saying, I heard about it, okay? I performed it. Whatever they were talking about, or they were doing their discussion on their meeting, I was aware of that because I've done it. So it's not difficult, okay? The most difficult part is for you to get that job. Once you get that job, I can tell you that you will meet with people who have been working, or you will watch video online, and that is not even an issue, okay? Don't worry about it. Does it make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. So, anything else regarding what I said? Okay.
Well, I have a question. Encouragement on a study plan going forward.
All right. As I said in the morning class, I will take the same scenario, you guys, so that you guys definitely understand why you are here and why I'm here as well. I'm here to enforce the importance of group studies. I'm here to enforce the importance of your groups. Okay, the video is just for today because you don't know me and everything is virtual. So at least the first day you have to see who is talking to you guys. For other classes, I'll be behind the camera just because I don't want you guys to focus on my face, but to focus on the material. So I was talking about how important groups are. The group is all you have, the group and the class. You guys should rely on each other. Why am I saying that? Even at work, you have a team. You almost never work alone. You have a team. And as I told you in my team, it's true that in my team in Oracle, okay? It's true that in my team in Oracle, we have more than 15 people, and about three of us are from Bontech. So it's a bit different because 3 of us are from Bontech and from the same batch. So we can see that the competition doesn't matter a lot. All of you can take the same interview and get the job together, okay? All of us, we are from the same class. And we are working together and working different shifts, and we are helping each other, okay? If you need help, I will help you. And if I need help, you will help me. That is how it is. So I will enforce the importance of group studies because I noticed that in groups, especially people don't take groups very seriously. The group, normally a group is made up of multiple type of people, okay? You can have very nice people, nice with everyone, very difficult people, people who are not focused, all type of people you can have in your group. People who don't want to help, people who are selfish, you can have those people. It's possible. People who feel like they know everything, they don't need help, you will have this type of people in your group, okay? And if you don't know now how to deal with such type of people, even at work, you won't know how to deal with other races. Because you will be dealing now with other people, they have different background, okay? They have different culture. So it can be more difficult for you to deal with them than to deal with, okay, a fellow group member, somebody from your group. And your group should be everybody, you should care about someone else's issue. If your classmate comes or your group member comes with something, should be open to help. If I have an issue with my server or my database or anything, when I post it in the group, so someone should hook up and assist. And you guys should not be limited at the group level. Also go at the class level or at the batch level. At some point, you guys will create a merge group for both morning and evening. Everybody will be in one group, okay? While I'm still working with you guys. So if you have an issue at a group level, that is how you'll be with me. If you have an issue at the group level, I will not help people individually. Because I want to enforce the importance of groups, If you have an issue at the group level, then you reach out to your group. You reach out to your group. If your group cannot help, you reach out to the class. So the issue should be posted in the class group. If nobody can help in the class group, now I can assist. So just to tell you, because I want you guys to know that he or she can help me to fix this issue. Sometimes somebody at your level helping you is better than the teacher helping you, because I cannot feel the the challenges you are facing now. So sometimes a fellow classmate is better. It can better explain. If you need more clarifications, of course, I can provide, and I will provide. If someone helps you, but you did not understand, okay, we can definitely provide more detailed information. And let me take an example, because I want to take the same example as I took in the morning, and how important are groups. When I started this program, as you guys, I was in this country for about a year and 3 months. And as you can see on for my accent, I'm basically a French speaker. So bear with me. If you cannot understand what I'm saying, please just let me know. I'm just trying.
Good. You go so far.
Understandable. Okay, so I started the program, and again, coming from a French-speaking background and from a city where we're speaking only French, I was struggling with the language to accommodate, right? And in Brontech, I was always somewhere in the back. Whenever Mr. Brendan, that I really appreciate, because he was really patient. Whenever we raise my small finger to ask for a question, I will struggle to make a sentence. I will struggle to make a sentence, a complete sentence. And he will tell me, keep up. Say what you have to say, even if you have to mix with French, say it. And I was always saying what I think, or asking questions when I don't understand. It was embarrassing because a lot of people were mad at me. Even till now, you know somebody who knows me, they will tell you what I'm saying. I'm not just creating a story. Even sometimes some people even came to me and told me, Gaetan, you talk too much, you ask too much questions. Don't bother people, stop bothering people. You are cutting the class whenever you have issues, you are asking questions, you don't even understand what you are saying. Why did you come here? Go and learn English first before you come in Brontech. And it was really frustrating because I noticed that not just one person was thinking like that, but multiple. And because of that, that was very good for me because I noticed that I was facing that challenge with my fellow classmates. That encouraged me to give more effort, more sacrifices. And definitely, that is what helped me to become a better student. And even when I was going to some groups, they will say no. One of the best groups in the class, they will say no, they don't want me because it looks like I need more help than others. So I was not accepted in groups. I can just tell you the truth. I was not really accepted. Whenever we were making groups, I was not accepted because of that limitation I had. It was very, very sad. And I decided to create my own group with a friend, with somebody I also met who was struggling like me. We created a group and we started adding a couple of members. We were about 5. We kept fighting. And once we got to DB1, very good. The DB1 exam was, if I remember, it was about 4 hours, right? 4 hours. I was on the evening class like you guys. We were 3. There was a guy 2 people were very smart. They ended the exam in 1 hour, 40 minutes. And I was the 3rd person to finish in 2 hours. It started becoming interesting. On the DB2 exam, I was now the first one to finish in less than, I think it was 1 hour, 15 or 20 minutes because I built automated script. to run stuff automatically. And since then, I became the class administrator. And because of that, some people saw now that I know some stuff, right? I'm studying, I understand the concept now. But then now I was not bothering people. Now people started coming in the group. And the ego now, I started having that ego. That's why I'm taking this story. I started having that ego because I felt like I understand now a lot in Oracle. I already became, okay? I show people that what they were thinking was not really, the reality. So I was feeling more comfortable in the program, more ready. I even touched that I was already GBA. So now in my group now we had some students again. I started having that ego of class leader, class admin, group leader, all those stuff. Now we had a lady in my group. She was also struggling with the language. And she was not, for me, she was not serious. Okay? I thought that she's not serious as well because she was coming late. We set group session at 6 p.m. She comes at 7 or 8, or sometime I call her, she says she traveled. She's in New York, Philadelphia, Texas for baby showers, weddings, all those stuff. And whenever she comes to the group, she brings us back to the previous session. And I never liked it. And because I thought that I was doing so good, and I decided to dismiss her from the group. But I informed Mr. Brendan about that first. He told me something. He told me that I'm giving you 1 more week to think. He gave me 1 more week to think about the decision. Because I thought that I don't need her. I thought that she will never help me. I know everything. I'm good in technicals. I can do anything, okay? I'm good in project. Everything I'm good. I don't need her. So I can dismiss her as I want because I'm the group leader. I know almost everything. That's what I was thinking, right? We got to the level of soft skills. After me, you have something called soft skills with Prof. Brendan. What are soft skills? Soft skills just, to bring your, to see how to answer interview questions, like to introduce yourself to an interviewer and to know how to behave and answer some soft skill questions, not technical questions, okay? But now you have to know how to get interviews and how to, okay, prepare for interviews. So we got to that level. And soft skills, you have to write your introduction, introduce yourself, right? Mr. Brendan will tell you, make a brief introduction about yourself. Put it down and read it in front of me. So what I will do is, I will definitely write down my introduction. Everybody write down his introduction and read it in front of Mr. Brendan. I wrote mine, and I thought that it was so good, right? I struggled, I wrote it. When I read it in front of Mr. Brendan, he told me I had to write it from scratch. So that means it was very bad. It was very bad. And I wrote it the second time. He told me the same thing again. So meaning that I was skilled in technical, but I was not skilled in soft skill. But that lady who was struggling with language, she was journalist in Cameroon, in Africa, journalist. So even though she was French speaker, she wrote it in French and she translated the thing about herself, the introduction in English. Once she read it in front of Mr. Brendan, he told the lady that you have nothing to add and nothing to remove. Perfect. One of the best introduction in the class. Guess what? I was now the one to go in front of the lady and ask for their help to write my own introduction. And that is what helped me to go all the way to the interview room. I'm taking this example to show you, to tell you guys that you don't know more than anyone else. You think you know this, but there's something you don't know that another person can help you with. And with a group study, you have people from different backgrounds, different skills. I was even the best, I can say one of the best in the class, but I was not one of the first to get the job. The first person who got the job in the class was a businessman. People who talk business. So those businessmen are people who can convince you. They have good words. Was a businessman. So that is why I'm talking about the importance of group study. In your group, you have all kind of background. People who have done physics, mathematics, science, anything else, okay, biology, all those fields. Don't think that because you are the best today in your group, that you will not need another person tomorrow. So my best advice for you is to rely on your group and your class. Never underestimate anyone. Don't think because before you have done IT, I've never done IT. I was electrical engineer. So I learned IT in Brontech. I learned command in Brontech. So I don't care where you are coming from, who you are, but never have that ego when it comes to when you're in Brontech, okay? Just be open with your group and open to help each other, okay? With that, I can guarantee you that you'll go far. So that was the brief story about how important the groups are and how committed you should be with your group and your class. Does it make sense?
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you too. Okay, anything else? All right, so now let me get back to you, okay? Before I start something new, I have to know first how you guys feel on this program. You have been here for more than 6 months, I think 6 months and more. And what do you feel? How do you feel about the program? Okay, what do you feel is good, is it going well as you expected? Just tell me what you think. Based on that, we can see how to enhance things, okay? How do you feel about the program? Anything good, bad, anything you feel, just tell me, okay? I'm here for that. Anyone else or anyone, okay? I want you guys to tell me what you feel about the program.
I feel that the program is very, very interesting. Once you start getting the stuff, it's really interesting. You know, passing DB1 exam, going forward and passing the DB2 exam, now going to project, you know, I'm looking forward to it getting even more interesting. Yeah.
All right, good, thank you.
Okay, I can say the same thing, especially when you connect DB1 and DB2, because when we were at DB1, we were talking about the concept, and then when we get to DB2, you kind of have that hands-on, and then you see the connection with DB1, and you sometimes you struggle, and then you face some errors, and then you get through those errors. I felt a lot of confidence, but not fully, because I can see the connection with DB1 and DB2. So it becomes more and more interesting. And I'm thinking about project, the fact that it's more hands-on. I'm looking forward.
Good. Yes, definitely project. The project definitely, again, you'll be doing it. It should work. If it doesn't work, then you fail the project. So it should work. And but again, I will give you materials, and you guys will have a new page on Canvas, okay, for project that will be added. So new materials, so that you can use those materials to configure what you have to configure and to make it work. So yes, project, that's why I need team group. If you don't have a group, you should not be part of the project, okay? If you don't have a group, you should not be part of Brontech. You can create your group, okay? I don't know. And the last project I'm calling Rack, you have special servers that will be allocated. Those special servers, I will give those special servers only to groups, not to individual. You have your local server, your personal server you have now, and you also have special servers, okay? That'll be used for rack. So we definitely, okay, we'll be working on that. Yeah, good, thank you.
Please, I have a question. I think I probably missed it earlier, but I heard you say that you cannot teach more than 3 hours at a time.
No, what I said is because every day I'm involved in meeting from all the way till 11 a.m. So that means I can just spend 3 hours with students in the morning session, okay? So because I don't want to spend 3 hours with others and spend 4 hours with others, that doesn't make sense, right? That means for sure I will provide more information, okay? Even if you have more information than morning, and it should not be like that, it should be balanced. So if I need 3 hours with morning, I should spend 3 hours with evening. So that's why I will also spend 3 hours with you guys. And sorry if I will affect your schedule, but because I also have a feedback meeting sometime around 8 p.m. So in that scenario, I ask you guys to find 1 more hours on your time so that we can do from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. instead of 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Instead of 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that, because that meeting can take from 30 minutes to an hour. I don't want you guys to be waiting for me. Okay, so and sometimes after that meeting, I'm really tired because I have to give a feedback for the entire day. So I don't know. I'm just a request, just begging you guys to see if we can bring it down. That will start next week. So we start the meeting at 5 p.m. and we end at 8 p.m. That is 3 hours. There is still a break in between, but our meeting will go from 5 to 8.
So question, can it be like more flexible as to, when you don't have those meetings, we can do 6 instead of 5, because 5 is will be cutting it really close, getting home from work and getting prepped for class. So, I can accommodate, when it's possible, but if it can be flexible, so we can do 6, if we can do 6 instead.
Yeah, I understand. It's very complicated. But what happened is that those meetings are every single day. Yeah. Sometimes they are canceled, but they take place every single day. So today I just took an excuse for today, and Thursday I'll also take another excuse just for this week. But next week I should definitely give my feedback at 8 p.m. So I don't know. We can try to handle like that.
Okay, well, we'll try.
In case there's an exception, we see if we can make 5:30. But in 5 p.m. Definitely what is working for me now. If we want to spend 3 hours together, otherwise we will have to spend 2 hours, and that will not balance things. Okay. Also, projects sometimes based on expectation. I can tell you guys to keep Friday open. Friday open, because when I introduce a project on Monday, I have to check the progress, what you have done, and help you if there's something that is common to some issue I can fix at the class level. And sometimes Friday will help, for me to keep track of the progress. So if I have to schedule a class on Friday, I will let you know, and it will not last long. It can be 2 hours just to check how far you are as well. So your Friday should also be kept open when we start project. When we start the project. And before we move forward with any other question.
Excuse me. Excuse me, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I hear you talk about the 3 hour, the morning, the 3 hour afternoon. One thing I learned for the Bante is the people, the morning class, he got more time more than us. Maybe the exam time, he got more time more than us because sometimes he begin the class by 11 or 10 in the morning, we go finish by 4. But when we coming for us, we finish almost the time we finish before the 10. If we got opportunity to project, have more time with the people, the morning class, I don't feel bad because in DB1 and DB2, the people report, oh, the people, the morning class got more time more than you. We got more information. You guys, you need to go see the video, the people, the morning class, because he got more information more than you. If we got opportunity to have more information, the people, the morning class, if you want information, go see the video to evening class, got more information. I don't feel bad for that because we has small time more than the people, the morning class.
Yes, I understand your concern, sir. I understand. I don't know what was happening before with other teachers. First of all, we have different teachers, first of all. So other teachers, I don't know if, as you think, that maybe some people have had more privilege than others, okay? I don't know, I was not here, I was not in your class, so I cannot say it was true or false. I cannot say anything about it. But I'm just going with the logic. Okay, first of all, you guys should know that evening, why is evening having some issues? Because when we get to 10 p.m., server are slow. If at 9:30 somebody run a job, it start getting slower, right? You guys can notice you have that issue a lot. You're having that issue. At 10 p.m., start getting slow because maintenance jobs are running in Brontech server. So definitely that is not advantageous for you guys. And I know. But if I'm saying 3 hours, three hours, at 8 p.m., you will never have a performance issue, a server issue. So I don't want to be fair, okay? I don't care about what happened before. It doesn't mean I will not provide you guys the same information as I did in the morning. No, okay? Me, I will balance things. But I don't want, for instance, to cover 3 PowerPoint, 3 slides with the morning, and I come on evening and I cover 4 slides. Myself is making me a bit confused, okay? So I have to stop at the same level for everybody. So if today I said that I will cover only architecture, I should cover architecture with morning and evening. If I said today I have to cover till slide 15, I should cover till slide 15 with both morning and evening. And I should make sure that the information I provide with the morning class, I should provide the same on the evening. And sometimes I can even tell you, evening sometimes even have more information than morning. Why? Because sometimes in the morning session, you will teach the morning class, but after you teach them, you notice that there's something you were able to add that you did not add.
I'm sorry, sir. I got a hook. I have to go.
Right.
I'm come back. I'm working right now. I'm come back. I have to go. Thank you for your answer.
All right, no problem. So I just wanted to emphasize the fact that I cannot, spend more time with one class than another, okay? That's just the logic. So we will spend the same amount of time with the morning session, okay? So for this week,
Hello, sir.
yeah.
I want to ask, when is the class? Is it going to be like a Monday to Tuesday, or Monday to Wednesday, or Monday, Thursday? Which of them? Because I heard...
No. For now, classes are Monday, Wednesdays, as usual. Mondays, Wednesdays only, twice a week.
Okay, because I was confused when you said you have to like give an excuse on Thursday. So.
Sorry, Wednesday.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Wednesday, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, you're having 3 hours, and 3 hours very serious. Okay, so it's not like we'll be joking. I will provide you guys during the break. I forward to you guys all the documents. Okay, before we even introduce performance tuning today. So, and okay, who else has something to say about the feedback? Any feedback? What do you?
Okay, I have a question, please.
Yes.
So, how long is this project? Because I had Prof talking about 9 weeks.
You made mention of 9 weeks. Projects only or everything with me?
Everything starting from performance tuning.
Based on what I have here, it is around 11 to 12 weeks. Let me tell you why, how it's organized. Performance tuning will last 3 weeks. Why? Because I have 2 weeks to teach, and you guys have 1 week for presentation. Presentation are important because you guys need some material, something to go and research, and to come and present in front of your classmates. I cannot teach everything, okay? But sometimes by you guys researching something and coming with that can help me to provide more detail, and also can help you yourself to learn something new or to challenge yourself. So that is what it is, 3 weeks. Oracle 12c, which is something a bit new to you guys. I think you guys work on 11G so far, and 12C is just something, it's not that different from 11G, but it comes with additional features. And we'll be working on that with 1 week and a half to 2 weeks. After 12C, you have all the materials ahead of the time. After 12C, we start the first project called Data Guard. Every single project will not last less than 2 weeks, okay? Unless you already have a script that you just get from your friend or your family member and just come and run without understanding, right? I can just guarantee you that you will never do a project for 1 week and understand, for a week, understand. That's a guarantee. Even if your friend or whoever gives you a script to do the project, unless the person sits and explains to you from scratch, I'm not sure within 1 week you will be able to configure something till it works and you understand it. That's why 2 weeks for every single project. And after that, now maybe the additional is because I'm talking about summaries now. If you guys don't find it important, I will cancel that one. That's no problem. Why is it used for? The summaries, I will summarize some projects, and also I will take 1 week to explain to you guys environment. So an environment, how does it work in an environment? The tools we can use in an environment. What is a ticket? How do you pick a ticket? How do we okay? Basically, whatever is in an environment. In that scenario, I will display my environment and I will display whatever I use, whatever I do, okay? So this one is just to help you guys to see how it looks like. Again, and after that, I can just hand you over to the guy who will be doing Postgres. So if you guys find it not useful for me talking about environment stuff, about how DBA works, I will cancel that one at that time, okay? And I can release you guys sooner for you to make the next proof. But every single project cannot be less than 2 weeks with me. I will introduce the project, you have 1 week, and at the last day, I close the project. 2 weeks for every single project. So I don't know if it makes sense to you.
Okay, so do you have a deadline, like knowing that you cannot pass, for example, I mean, when this month reach, you cannot, you must have finished with this and this and this, because I really want to know if you mean we cannot do less than 2 weeks for projects. That means that it can go even to 4 weeks.
No. Maximum 2 weeks. Maximum 2 weeks.
Okay.
put the program on the chat, okay? If I said 2 weeks, it's 2 weeks.
Okay, that's
Okay,
better.
not more. 2 weeks, 2 weeks. I close the project in 2 weeks. So if you guys are not involved, I move forward.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's basically what we'll be doing. Anything else? So yes, how do you feel, others? How do you feel about the program? Or about how far you are now? How do you feel?
For me, I share similar feelings with Patrick and Anita, but also it's kind of fast paced for my learning, and a lot of the time I get frustrated when I'm stuck on a particular project or when I'm doing a research. And one of the things, you don't always want to be asking the group for help all the time, because I feel kind of bad, when my contribution are minimum in the group, because you don't always want to be like receiving, you want to be on the end where you actually can make contribution, which I do, but it's not as some other folks. So that time you feel frustrated, and then you just keep yourself to yourself and you struggle more than, when you participate. But for me, I learned a lot so far. I'm still pushing through DB2. I'm in project now, so I'm trying just to tighten up a little bit more and do some more research. But it's difficult when you have to juggle, from work to family, and then come back to the class, and then the same routine. So I'm basically just trying to tighten up a little bit to see how more I can dedicate myself to the program.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Just keep up. I cannot tell you things will get easier. I can just tell you, you will need more time to spend on this thing. I just want to tell you the truth. If you thought that DB2 was the most difficult part of the project, of the program, no. If you think project will be the most difficult, no. Okay, so the most difficult part for you in this program is when you're looking for a job. Because when you get to the job, you don't know what those people want. So sometimes you find yourself reading almost everything. Okay, you find yourself reading everything from DB1, DB2 project, summaries, Postgres again, coming on that, because you want to get that job and go. So, but how will you have more chances? By taking everything seriously. You cannot understand everything. That's why you need groups. You cannot. I cannot myself understand everything. I will have a topic that gives me a headache. You will always have that topic, unless, okay, you always have that type of topic that you don't like. And that's why you need a group. That's why you need to work as a team, so that if you are lacking some information there, someone else can help. So just keep up. No matter what, just keep up. You will make it. You'll make it.
Thank you.
I know when you guys were coming here, you guys saw six plus months for the program. And the 6+ month, definitely you guys are done with the 6+ month because the 6 months you guys see there is normally what most of people will provide to you. But this additional thing we are doing now, just to give you more chances. You will hardly see, okay, unless it's a new school, hardly see a school that will focus on project like we do. Because in an interview, more than 90% of the time, you have at least one project in that interview. More than 90% of the time, you have at least one project in an interview. I can even say 100%. You never have an interview without one of the projects or without performance tuning. Never. So you can see that if we stay at the level of DB1, DB2, you won't be that ready. So what we need is for you not just to listen, but to do it. to perform it, okay? To try it, see how it works. And see, even if you were not able to fix it yourself and someone help you, try to understand how the person helped you, how the person did. Try to know more about what was the issue and how he or she fixed it for you. That is what matters. You cannot understand everything, but okay, at least try your best on whatever you can. Try your best. It's not easy. I'm even, impressed to see people who started a program online. I know some of us are not used to that. And it's very challenging because some of us have been in the classroom before. Once you come now online, people are not comfortable. And if you guys are still here, that means you guys are willing to make it. And that's what we are trying to do. We are trying to provide the best. Every day we are trying to improve. Myself, I'm trying to improve to make things better for you. Even if it's online, I'm trying to find techniques to make you feel more comfortable whenever I'm teaching. So just keep up. Everything will be all right. Just keep up. Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Quick question. Can we call you Gaitan?
Sure,
Mr.
please, Gaitan. Gaitan, no, Gaitan, please. Gaitan, please. Don't call me Mr. Gaitan, please. Call me Gaitan Ori, please. Okay, thank you. All right. So, for the presentation that will take place in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, that means after next week, the week after next week, the first Monday we have presentation. And for that, I need a list of groups. I already created a presentation for the morning class. As soon as they gave me the list, right after the class, I already shared the topics. I will send the list once, but I already allocated the topics to different groups. So I want the same thing for the evening. Okay, when we are on break, okay, or even after the class, please try your best to provide the list of active members. Active members are actually the members who are still in the program. Okay, so just provide me the list and I allocate topics, and so that you guys have enough time to prepare on those topics. Okay, and that is what will help us to close performance tuning. Because if I'm the teacher and you guys don't look research, we keep teaching you guys, and that will not help. We want to see your input and add something on top of it. Okay, that's what we want. Yeah, so we can send a list to the class lead, and he or she can just forward it to me. Okay, so it will make things better, or make things easier for me. And by tomorrow, if I have some energy tonight, I will do that and send. But I can give you till tomorrow for you to receive the list of presentation and to know what you will present, so that you already prepare for it. Okay? You guys need presentation. And the presentation will be video. So you will turn on your camera, you will talk. Okay. I'll request a list of the groups. Anything else?
Yeah, I have a little concern, please, about the 5 p.m. scheduling for every day. Because I'm going to use myself as an example. When this program started, I had to take those Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays to my boss to always give me time to leave before 6 p.m. because that was the initial time we were told. And I can remember before the end of all through DB2, my boss asked me if I was still doing the classes, and I specifically told her, yes, I'm going to start at 6. So I'm given time to leave at 5:30. So now it's going to be quite difficult for you to go back when schedule for 2 months has already been made and go back and tell them they have to move it back to probably 4:30. It's quite challenging. I don't know if there's going to be, of course, sometimes I might be able to join with my phone, but it's not like being in a conducive environment and learn what you're being taught, because I feel that's one of the major problems. When we were doing physical classes, everyone knows that once you say you're going to school, you're going to school. But now you can't even say, I'm going to school when they know there's a pandemic out there and it's definitely online. They won't even take you serious. They might feel you're lying. So I don't know if there's anything else you can do just to make it work for everyone, because missing from these classes, it's very difficult for you to catch up, especially when you're all by yourself in the house or something.
Very, very complicated. Okay. How many people are having that challenge? How many people are facing this challenge? I think I just had two person complaining. Very complicated, very, very complicated.
Yeah, mine is just occasionally.
Very, very complicated. Very complicated. No, Wednesday I will confirm if I can do something, but very complicated. We'll confirm Wednesday if there's something I can do about it. If you're having an issue with the time, just let me know. Even inbox and the chat inbox, let me know. But very complicated. Very, very complicated. I know it's going to cause some disruptions. That was one of the best I was able to do. All right, we will see if there's any better option. Wednesday, I will tell you if I was able to figure out something about it. But for now, 5 p.m. is the time. I thought will help me to help you better. Okay. Okay. So I think we will take a short break of 20 minutes, and during that break, 15 minutes. During that break, I will send you guys all the document you need. Let me send it now. all the document you need for this performance tuning. And you guys can, that's what we'll be using. And when we come back from the break, I will introduce performance tuning, not from scratch, because I know you guys already learned something about it on DB1. And I think Prof spent some time with you guys. I don't know what you guys were doing, but I think he spent some time with you guys last week on performance tuning. So what were you doing so far, even with Prof last week?
We were revising chapter 12 and 13. And then he added like a basic concept. What we're going to cover in performance tuning.
All right. Okay. So yes, for our last hour, we spend time on the architecture, because for me, I always feel like the architecture is the key for tuning. So that's what we'll be doing. So this is the first day, and I will tell you what we'll be doing Wednesday. So, but while we are taking a break, you guys will have receive all the documents I have to share on performance tuning. Okay, so see you at I will see you guys at 7 at 8:00. Okay.
All right.
Oh, no.
So you're going to send it to our canvas, or?
No, I will send you on WhatsApp. Don't worry. You will see the
All right.
on WhatsApp. We will resume at 8:00. Okay. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Hello. Can you guys hear me? All right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. All right. So I think I shared this PowerPoint with you guys and some other information. There's a book I use as a reference as well. And I think maybe I have to share that as well. There's a Performance Tuning 20C. I think I will share. If you guys need that, I will share as well. Okay. But this PowerPoint definitely is everything that you find on this PowerPoint are coming from Oracle itself. So I did not figure out anything. Okay. So if you see and find information here that you don't understand, okay, just try to research or ask me if I can answer. So these are the links. This is whatever I used to build this PowerPoint. Okay. But I just provided you guys what you need. And before, the PowerPoint was about 150 slides, but I cut it, okay? I made it shorter and I want you guys to be more involved. And I noticed that there are some areas you don't need now because you guys should know that performance tuning is a different level. We have performance tuning for 3 years DBA, performance tuning for 5 years DBA, performance tuning for 10 years DBA, performance tuning for 20 years DBA, performance tuning for 30 years DBA. So it's not something static, it is something dynamic. And at your level, you don't need some information, okay? You just need what will help you to get that job or also need you to get, so that even when you get that job, you understand what is going on there, okay? So, and there are some information that were a bit more advanced that I had to remove because for me, at your level, it was useless. So, and some details, some information will come on presentation. Why? Because I know that you guys were introduced on this stuff, okay? Like AMM or AWR, whatever. So there's a group that will present this stuff. If there's any information that has to be added, I will definitely add the information. So that's why the presentations are not just theoretic, are not just, you guys will not just focus on the theoretical part. There's also some practical part, okay? So if I tell you AWR as presentation, yes, you will give me key information about all those, but I'm also expecting some practicals, okay? Demonstration. So I want you to show me how you generate this and also how you can read it, all those. So that is why we are doing presentation, because if I want to take care of everything, we cannot last only, I try to do that, to take care of everything with class 23, and performance tuning lasted for 7 weeks, okay? Because I wanted to do everything. And at the end, I even noticed that it did not help that much because people were not involved. Whenever you haven't researched anything, you won't pay too much attention. By the time we get to week number 5, you are tired. That's why I want you to be involved. And once you bring your material for your classmate, if there's anything that I have to add, I will definitely add. But again, you just need some key informations, okay, to provide. When we finish performance tuning, I will give you an assignment for 2 months. It will be to create scenarios, okay? You can read it to me or to the next teacher. So because after me, everybody will take you guys on Postgres, and in parallel, they will do interview prep with you. And at the end, there's another guy who will take you guys only on Saturdays. For now, that's the schedule. It's available only on Saturdays. I don't know if that will change. If you want, you have a concern about it, just let Prof know. I don't know if that will change or it's still the same person. It's just available on Saturdays, and that's the guy who take you guys all the way to the interview room. Even up to now, people from class 24 are still having class with him. Okay, they're in the interview room already, but they're still having class with him because he will display environment and he will try to relate anything I will show you, okay, to what he's doing at work. So he's more environment than me. Me, I'm just there to give you, help you to grab the concept of project and to try to do it. But now he will relate what you did with environment. It won't be that difficult. It will be more flexible than anything else. So it's optional. It's not mandatory. So you may have the option to attend the class or not. Okay, it will not hurt you. Okay, if you cannot. There's recording. No, there's no recording because since he displays environment, you can't record. So that one is either you are there or you missed, and it's fine if you cannot attend. It's just additions. You know, some people who are really grateful to BronTech, they are happy of what BronTech did to them. They will just come and just tell you if you are available. They will just share their experience. That's what the guy is doing. That's a free. It's just willing to do that, so that you guys are not just focused on your virtual machine, but you also have a basic knowledge on what's going on there. That is why I will also have some session on environment with you guys. So today I will introduce performance tuning, and again I will not go at the basic level because you guys already have a small background on performance tuning, chapter 12 and 13 of DB1. I just try to do it as a revision, okay? You just see again what is architecture. Please don't say it's basic because whatever we'll be talking about moving forward on performance tuning will be around at the architecture. That is why if you are having an interview with Oracle Corporation or any company or any GBA who has a lot of experience in your interview, more than 20 years, I can tell you that more than 90% of the time, they want to know if you understand what is going on behind the scene. So never underestimate architecture because it's the key. And every area in the architecture, whenever something is not working on that area, then you have performance issues. That's why I always like to start performance tuning with architecture. And I always like everybody to be involved. So you guys will be involved. I'll be asking questions and I will see what you guys think. Okay, if there's anything I have to add, I will add. So I'm not fully a teacher. I'm here like just to communicate. If I see that you guys need more information, I will just throw more light. Okay, so the class will be interactive. If you want to talk, just unmute yourself and talk. If I'm teaching, you don't understand something, please write it down, and I will open it and a session for questions. So when I feel like I can start teaching, and after a couple of minutes, I will stop and I will open the floor for questions. So I don't want us to be interrupted every time because by you interrupting me when I'm talking, for instance, maybe I can miss the point later when I'm coming back, when I'm trying to come back. And that won't be a good point. That won't be good. So if I'm saying something, I will not go that fast. I will not cover a lot of things before I open the floor for questions. No. If I explain some areas, then I will give you the chance to ask your question, and I will try then to answer those questions later on. And also, I am not the owner of the product. I'm not the person who created Oracle. I'm not the person who created Oracle software. So don't expect me to know everything because I cannot know everything. So if there's something I don't know, I will definitely tell you I don't know, and together we look for the answer, okay? I always believe that there is some good stuff I can find on Google or anywhere else. Or if there's another person who knows it, definitely can provide the answer. So I want to make it clear. If I want to show you I know everything, then I'm wrong. Nobody knows everything, okay? Even if you have been working on it for 20 years, you won't know everything. I'm working with 25-year GBAs, but they don't know everything. So you should know that that is where, that is how you'll be going. If I don't know, I will tell you, okay? Frankly, I will tell you that I don't know, okay? Or I don't have that experience. And together, we figure out, or next session, I will research and I will tell you, okay? So, just to be more frank. So my teachings will be mixed with theory and real life scenario, okay? Whatever I encounter, I will mostly put not just theoretical stuff, but whatever I encounter, okay? I will put all of that together so that it makes more sense to you. Not just to say stuff I haven't encountered. If I tell you something, okay, I will mostly take example on what, okay, you can face at work. So sometimes we'll be doing practicals, sometimes we will not be doing practicals. When I see the need to do practicals, we will do, okay? When I don't, for instance, I send some demo on Notepad. I can just go through this demo because I've done that before and I documented it then. So I can just go through the demo for you to understand what's going on. So don't expect me on every single session to open a terminal and type, okay? But whenever I see the need to do that, I will definitely do that. Whenever I see the need to go to SQL Developer and do something, I will definitely do that, okay? And anything I feel the need to practice, I will practice, okay? So otherwise, we will never end this this program on time, based on what we set, okay? All right, so performance tuning. I will start saying performance tuning. It is something you'll be doing almost every day. Even in your real life, even in your daily activity, your daily life, you are tuning stuff, not just Oracle, okay? You are fixing stuff, okay? Whenever, even if it comes to your house, your car, sometimes you can tune your car, right? You see that, okay, the way the engine is making a noise, I don't like it. Maybe I need to put a better, okay, the type of engine oil. I may need to use something more expensive. Maybe the tires are not good. So sometimes you will find yourself tuning whatever is around you because you want it to look good. Your house, the designs, you no longer like the design of your house, okay? You decide to change the way it looks like, okay? Even for ladies, your skin, makeup, right? You tune yourself, right? Because you want to look better. You want, okay, things to look better. Your phone, okay? You can buy phone covers because you want the phone to look better. And sometimes when your phone is running slow, you can find yourself rebooting your phone so that it can be more performant. So basically, performance tuning is something we do daily, okay? And now as a GBA, even daily, okay, you do that proactively and reactively, okay? So proactively means that you do something before it breaks down. With the car, for instance, when you put a good engine oil, it's because you know that that one will help the engine to last longer, okay? To make it more performant. So that's why you put it as a proactive user so that, you know, it will prevent some issues, okay, in the future. Okay, and proactively in an environment, is GBA can also be involved in proactive activities. Let me take an example as well when it comes to GBA site. Let's assume that every day as a GBA, you are having high CPU usage on the system. So meaning that every day you are receiving ticket. What is a ticket? A ticket is an assignment provided to you as the engineer. So it's like somebody tells you, please do this to me. Please give me this glass of water, okay? Please do this. It's an assignment, but for a GBA, it comes as a sort of ticket, okay? And a ticket is stored in a ticketing system. So let's assume that every day you are receiving a ticket regarding high CPU usage on the system. At some point as a proactive GBA, you may need to figure out what is causing the CPU to be that high frequently, and you will try to see if you can reduce, if you can, okay, prevent the issue to occur in the future. That is how you will try to be proactive, because you want to figure out what we figure we call it in an environment, we call it, you want to perform a root cause analysis, RCA. You want to figure out what is causing the issue to be that high, and how can I prevent it from occurring? What actually changed in the environment? What happened? And once you can figure out what happened, then you will see if you can prevent it from occurring in the future. Okay? So you will figure out that is a proactive GBA, because you notice something, but you don't want it to occur again. Let's also imagine that you are having a lot of blocking sessions. You guys learn blocking sessions on chapter 9, GBA1. I think it was chapter 9. Sorry if I don't tell you the exact chapter. It's something you learn, locking mechanism. You are having locking mechanism every day, frequently. Because you can also have a ticket on blocking sessions, because you can set a job that will monitor the system, and whenever it detects that a blocking session has lasted more than 5 minutes, then it creates a ticket for you. So you notice that every day you are having ticket on blocking sessions. So as a proactive GBA, you also have to figure out what is causing the wait event. So of course, you will try to see how to prevent it from occurring the next time. Another scenario, you're also seeing that frequently you are having FRA full on your system. FRA full, you receive a ticket saying that the FRA location is full. All right, so you notice you're having that issue frequently. To prevent it from occurring in the future, you may need to figure out what is causing the FRA to be full every time and how to prevent it. By doing that, it will also help you in the future, because in the future you have less work to do, because you already set up a system that will reduce performance impact or failure. That is what we said we call as being proactive. And I can just tell you, most of the environment when you will get into, all those proactive activities are already been set up. So you won't be involved too much in proactive stuff, because they already created scripts. They set up metrics to monitor systems. For instance, in my environment, we have a job that runs every 15 minutes. That is a job that was built. And every 15 minutes, that job, whenever it detects something that's going on, it will create a ticket for me automatically, and I will go and resolve it. You also have a job that is there to detect blocking sessions. Okay? Detect blocking sessions and automatically resolve it without you having to interact. Except if, okay, some databases, okay, not on all databases. So in most environments, okay, those old GBA who have been there, unless it's a new environment, in some most of the environment, okay, you will get there, they already build a system, a monitoring system, a proactive environment. And you just have to mostly work as a reactive GBA now. Okay, so proactively means you do something before it occurs. You prevent failure. You try your best to reduce the amount of failure. You try your best to reduce the recovery point objective and the recovery time objective. You make sure that you meet the SLA. Okay, and now the reactive part of the job is mostly what you'll be doing more than 90% of the time. What can be reactive? Reactive issue is, oh, my phone is hanging. What can I do right now? My phone is hanging, right? What can I do? I may figure out, maybe I need to reboot that phone right now for it to work. Okay? My car broke down. I was driving, flat tire. What should I do? I should replace. Anything. That means the issue, it occurred already, okay? It occurred and you have to fix it. Bringing me back to the database, you are reactive GBA. If the database fell, the database is hanging, somebody is coming and complaining about his SQL statement running slower than before, or you are receiving a ticket regarding a database that is running slower, or a database that is having a high CPU usage, and so on and so on. Or you are receiving a ticket about people who cannot connect, or you're receiving a ticket about a high CPU or high memory or the disk full on the system. In that scenario, you have to work as reactive because the problem is there already. So you have to fix it. So this is what you'll be doing most of the time. And on any technology you'll be working, you'll be doing tuning. Either any project you'll be doing, Data Guard, Golden Gate Rack, we have a tuning area on it. Every single thing you do, backup recovery, we have tuning part on backup recovery. So that's why performance tuning is an area, it's something you have to spend some time on. And the best way to understand performance tuning is to build a scenario at your level. That's the best thing. What do I mean by scenario? Is to create a story for yourself. Oh, today I was having a slow database in my environment. What happened is I went there, I checked, I noticed that this was the issue and I fixed it this way, period. And that's it. Tell the person what was the issue, how you approach it, how you fix it, and that's it. That is what I call scenario. So based on what I'll be teaching, you may find yourself having scenarios while I'm teaching. For instance, now I've gave a scenario, but if you were attentive, you will notice that I've provided you some issues you can encounter and how you can even fix some of them. So this is how we'll be going. So you cannot understand everything on performance tuning, but I want you guys to understand that the assignment I'm giving you guys is create your scenario. And I'm not taking that assignment. If you want to do it, you do it. If you don't want to, don't do it. If you don't do it, you will be singing the same song in the interview home like everybody do. In the interview home, you will see more than 20 people having the same scenario. And let's imagine you are having the same interview with the same company. Multiple people have the same, what are you going to do? You will not have any other choice, because if you read the same scenario, they will know that you are not serious. So that's what I advise. Every single class, I tell you guys to build your scenario. If you feel like you want me to know or to review the scenario, you let me know. Okay, so I'll talk about the proactive and reactive part of tuning. Okay, again, you have questions, write them down. When I finish this page, I will open the floor for questions. So tuning is, again, not just, we have tuning at different level. We can have performance issues at the network level. So meaning, even when you are trying to connect, you may have performance issues. Let's take an example. You are in your house and you have more than 20 people using the network. At some point, you will face some slownesses, right? Because a lot of people are using the network, the same network. So that means the issue is not you, the issue is not your phone, but the issue is the network. Why? Because the network is highly loaded, right? So you can have issues at that level. In an environment, you may have issues at the network level because, again, maybe the system is highly loaded, a lot of users, or maybe there's a job that is running and maybe there's some jobs or some data that are crossing the network. So meaning somebody, for instance, is doing a data pump export. The data has to go across the network, right, before it goes to the dump file. Or maybe the person is doing an SCP command to copy the dump file maybe from one server to another. It's using some network bandwidth. So it can slow down some transaction. That is why we don't do data pump job during the day while the production is busy. So in that scenario, we can have performance issues at the network level. We can also have performance issues at the operating system level, meaning that, let's assume you access an operating system, student 100 is trying to connect. You go to party, you type student 100, you access the system. Whatever command you are issuing is taking forever. Like you guys are facing, right? At 10 p.m. in Brontech, you notice that. Why? Because the load on the system has increased, or the memory or the swap space or anything, right? That is affecting the system. And because of that, users are having issues, okay? Performance issues. So in that scenario, there should be someone to figure out what is wrong and to fix it. On the application side, we can also have performance issues, okay? Let's take an example of a cashier who is in the store to check out, right? They can have performance issue because a cashier is using an application to connect. They're having the application, and that application store its data in the database. So they may face performance issues, right? Maybe that application can hang. Like you guys, your WhatsApp can hang. Your WhatsApp may not work perfectly. Or your bank, your bank application, right? The application used for your bank can start running slower than before. So people can have performance issue at the application level, or also called SQL level or code level, okay? So you can also have issues at the instance level and database level, okay? So the instance is where we have memory, structure, background processes. We're talking about it. And the database is actually the storage where you have data file, control file, table spaces, and all those stuff. So you may have performance issues at all those levels. Now, if you are as a GBA, you are more involved in application issues, instance issues, database issues, and sometimes operating system issues, like mount point full. If the FRA is full, you are the one to fix it, right? So in that scenario, you can be involved. But if the memory is full or the swap space is exhausted, you may not be the one to increase the swap space. The sysadmin can be the one to do that. Or if you need more disk, someone else will take care of it, okay? So that is why in an environment, you guys work as a team. Because something that is at the OS level, you need the sysadmin to be involved in order to help you. Something that is at the network level, you need the network admin to be involved. Something that is at the storage level, you need a storage admin to be involved. Something that's at the application level, you need the application GBA or the application admin to be involved. Developers to be involved. That is why most of the time you work as a team sometimes on the same floor. The GBA area is there so that somebody can just stand up and just go and see the other person. You don't need headache, okay, to meet the sysadmin or the analyst or anyone else. So training is at all those levels. And the most of the time, performance issues is at the application level because you should make sure that those people, when they are creating their code, developers, they follow tuning techniques. Because you should know that tuning is not just your job. It's also other people's job. It's also the developer job. It's also the network admin job, everybody's job. Because you cannot fix everything. You cannot fix all the code. You have thousands of them. So before a code is even run on a database, that code has to be tested and tuned before it even runs the database. That's why we have the system development life cycle, so that we're testing in the development, testing before we go to the production. Because we don't want the entire production database to be affected because of a code or some code poorly written. That is why tuning is not just your responsibility. And I will take an example with this scenario. When I was in Houston, we were having, even though I spent 3 months there, we built, okay, I was sometimes involved on that. We built some rules for developers to follow because we noticed that we were having a lot of performance issue due to poorly written code. And there were some rules that the GBA created and provided those rules to developers to follow. Whenever you don't follow those rules, we will never accept your code to be deployed on the production. Because before you run your code, first of all, developers never had the permission to run a code directly on the production. So they have to send their code through a tool called GitHub. And we had to see the code from there before we can deploy it on the production. So we were the one to deploy the code. So that means whenever we notice that they were not following our rules, we will reject the code and we tell them to follow our rules. I will take two of the rules, one of them, so that one of the rules you guys know. Let's take an example. Some of you here, you enjoy issuing select star or select all. I think I put it on the pen. Right? You enjoy issuing select star from Scott.emp. This star, you guys know that, right? Select all from Scott.emp. One of the rules was to deny whenever I see your code that has all, I should send it back to you. Because whenever you do select all, it means that you want all the columns of the table to be returned. And I'm not sure you need all those columns. Instead, I will ask you to specify explicitly the columns you need. Select first name, last name, employee ID from. Okay, that makes more sense. Because by doing a select all, you are pushing the process who's supposed to do the job to go and read the entire table, to go and read all the columns of the table. And that can increase weak event, or that can increase the amount of resources used on the system. And all those other scenarios will tell you as I talk about bind variable, cursor sharing, and all those other fixes, union all, and all those stuff, indexes, and so on. So we created rules like this. By following these rules, it helped us to reduce the amount of work we had to perform. Every single day we had at least 2 developers coming to us, but it drastically reduced the amount of people complaining. We moved from about 3 to 4 complaints a day to almost 1 complaint a week, 1 complaint the entire week, because of rules. And you see, doing that as proactive DBA helped us to relax more, drinking more coffee than before. So I think now when it comes to monitoring and tuning tools, okay, it depends it moves from environment to environment. But I can tell you that more than 90% of the environment where you'll be working, you will see some of these tools. Whenever you talk about Oracle databases, you will always be in touch of all these tools, except sometimes Toot. All these tools. AWR, SQL Monitor, OEM, Chickenpuff, SQL Developer, Grafana, all those stuff. So don't be afraid. If you get to an interview and they ask you the tool you use for performance tuning or whatever, tell them what you really used. When I was in Texas, they had a tool called SQL Navigator. I never used it before. But they asked me what I was using. And I told them I was using SQL Developer 18.1 because I had it, I downloaded it, and I used it in Brontech. And because they felt like I'm more comfortable with that, they gave me the permission to download the tool, and that is what I was using. I also downloaded Pori, and I was using Pori VNCP because I was feeling more comfortable. OEM as well, even though in Brontech, you guys mostly work on the OEM 11G, that is just a dedicated OEM for every single database. On the environment, you may work with OEM Cloud Control that can help to monitor multiple databases at a time or multiple systems at a time. But there's no deal, it's not different, okay? I think I had a chance to show you how it looks like, okay? Before the end of our journey together. So don't be afraid to tell them you use OEM, you use ASH, SQL Monitor, Chickenpuff, Toot, whatever, okay? Whatever you use here, don't be afraid to tell them you use it. If they have new tools, they will teach you that, or they will give you some time to grab the concept of behind the tools. So we'll be talking about some of these, okay? SQL Monitor and their usage. Okay, any question? I'm taking questions before I move to the next slide. Questions, please. No question? So you can understand everything? Understand what I said?
Yes, a little bit.
A little bit. What don't you understand then?
Well, mostly what you mentioned, I understand a little bit.
All right.
I have a question on the assignment you said. I didn't grab it very well, where you was asking us to create a scenario. What was it all about, please? Can you take it over?
I was saying scenario because performance training, you know, when somebody will be interviewing you, in very rare scenario, they will ask you, what is this, what is this, what is this? Most of the time, they will tell you, if somebody comes to you and complain about his SQL statement running slower than before, how are you going to approach it? That is a scenario. So you have to tell them how you approach issues and how you fix issues. So how can you tell somebody how you approach? By maybe you have to draft, you have to write something down before, right? You have to create your own scenario, how you will approach issues and how you can fix them. That's what I call scenario. And I'm giving you time so that you make it perfect. You take time. You know, that I don't want to put a lot of pressure on you. So as I'm starting now, you guys keep thinking about it. You put something down. Even after the project, you will still be working on it. It's an assignment that I will not request for it, but you will come to me if you need help. If you need.
So basically, if I understand what you're saying, is that you want us to create a scenario where there's a problem with our database, how we're going to approach and how we're going to solve the problem.
Very good, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. All right, any other question? Good. So now in this area, I need your contribution. Okay, I need your help so that we discuss together. Okay, we share knowledge. All right. What is an instance and what are the components of an instance, an Oracle instance?
Instance is a memory structure plus a processes structure. And the instance structure is composed of a share pool, buffer cache, or the instance structure has multiple components. I should say that like that. For example, share pool, buffer cache, key pool, and key buffer, recycle pool, and redo log buffer.
Okay. What about process structure?
The process structure is composed of multiple processes. For example, process structure, checkpoint is a processes, it's a background process. The listener is a background process too. The log writer and the DB writer are also background processes.
You are saying some good stuff and you are mixing, right? But there are some good information you are providing. But there are some places you are mixing, right? Like background processes. You were talking about checkpoint and you talk again about background processes. That is part of background The checkpoint is a background process, basically. So, but overall, quite good. Who else has something to add or something else to say? Right. So, basically, an instance has, as you guys said, memory structures and process structures. And memory structures, you guys always have to mention the SGA, the shared global area, and the private global area. Okay. And on the SGA now, that is where you have all those components you listed. It can be buffer cache, share pool, large pool, recycle, keep, NK, reloc buffer, Java pool, strings pool. And when it comes to the PGA, you should know that the PGA is the private area for either it's one process or a set of processes. Because in a dedicated environment, every single process has its own PGA. In a shared environment, multiple processes can share the same PGA, okay? And processes, you have foreground processes or user processes, server processes, and background processes. Background process, user process is the process, or user process also called client process. It's actually what, okay, the users' issues, the request the users is performing from the application. That's the request. And that request comes in as a form of user process. And the server process is the user process, but in the database. So it's basically a process that works on behalf of the user process in the database. But now you have background processes who are now workers doing their job behind the scene. Those one come with Oracle, okay? And that is when you have PMON, SMON, checkpoint, okay, GB writer, log writer, and so on. All right. Now I want to go deeper, more deeper, okay? So what do you find on the SGA? What is the SGA? What is it used for? What is the SGA? What is it used for?
So the SGA is, like we say, is part of memory structure where we found component like the buffer cache, where
I was talking about the share pool, sorry. You said the SGA? I said the share pool. Share pool, please. Talking about
you said the share pool?
Yeah, please, sorry. Maybe I say it wrong. That's the share pool, please. That's the user of the share pool.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead, another.
Okay, so I think the share pool is where SQL statements are passed. And yeah, I think it's where SQL statements are passed.
And also I can add on that SQL statement are authenticated.
Okay, good.
I can also add that they are parsed, they are authenticated, and then they are saved so that it doesn't go through parsing when the next user sends a SQL statement. So that new SQL statement don't go through the parsing process.
They will go through which process?
Well, if a SQL statement has already been parsed, then the next time a user sends a request, it's just gonna go through authentication.
Followed by what?
After authentication, then it will be sent to the buffer cache where we check for the existence of that particular data block.
So that means there is no parsing that will take place.
For an already existing SQL, shared SQL area.
Okay, even if it's already there. So how many type of parsing do you know even?
Two. So
Which one and which one?
soft and
Pass
hard.
and soft pass.
All right. So your classmate is saying that if a query is already passed, the next time one comes, it will not go through passing. Is it right?
No,
Correct.
through soft passing.
Soft passing is a passing process. It can still go through passing, but it won't be hard. So it won't be, the plan doesn't have to be created again from scratch, right? You can just use an existing plan from that area and just proceed. But you can skip that step as well, okay? So let's move forward. I will tell you what can help you to avoid completely the passing without even going to the buffer cache as well. What else do you know about the share pool? All right, so you guys are seeing the result cache. What do you think the result cache does? Have you ever heard about the result cache?
You mean when there's, you said the result cache?
Yeah, on the share pool.
Do you mean the cache hit or the cache miss?
Do you see this architecture in front of you? You see this result cache here?
Oh. Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah. You guys know the usage of it?
I'm thinking about like when there was a cache hit.
Mm-hmm.
The result of that, I'm not sure.
All right, so basically, you can decide to enable the result cache. It's not mandatory, okay? But it's there to help, you know, when it comes to the response time of a SQL statement. Let's assume you have some SQL statements that are frequently issues in an environment. And even the soft passing process, I know that because there's a plan already in the shared secret area, you may go through soft passing, right? And
right.
We still go to the buffer cache or the disk. But you know that even soft passing consumes resources. Why? Because for the server process or for the optimizer to find out, to figure out where is the plan, it takes some time. You have a plan among multiple plan area. Even to find it is difficult. Let's assume that you have a box, okay? A box, you have more than 500 items in that block, in that box. You want to pick one. You have to make some effort, even though it's the one you're looking for is in that box, but you have to spend some time, right, to find out where it's exactly located. So even soft passing uses CPU, resource consuming. So hard passing is worse, but soft passing also consumes resources. So for those type of queries that are frequently run in an environment, you may decide to store their result in the result cache. So by enabling the result cache on the table they are accessing, those SQL statements will store their result. Once the SQL statement runs, the result of that SQL statement will go to the result cache. So that the next time it comes, the SQL statement will go straight in the result cache, grab the result, and send it back to the user without going to the shared secret area or the buffer cache or the disk. Does it make sense, what I'm saying?
Yes.
No? Who said no? I want the person who said no. I will start over. Somebody said no?
Yes, please start again.
All right. So I was saying, okay, you guys know the passing. You guys know that we have hard passing, soft passing. Hard passing means the optimizer. I will talk about the optimizer, okay? Hard passing means the database or the database component called optimizer has to create a new access path for you. What does it mean? Before you take your car and you go to a location you don't know, you have to use a GPS. You have to follow a route, right? You have to say, okay, I have to take this highway, I-95, 495, all those stuff. You need a plan before you get there. And what actually helps you to build that plan is your GPS on the GPS, you can see the different directions you have to take before you get there. If you already know it, that's fine, right? But if you don't know, you need a GPS. So the database is actually what creates the plan for you, what creates the route for you as a GPA, like a GPS. So now that plan, once it is created, it is stored somewhere called share secret area. You can also decide to store the plan in the baseline. I will talk about it. We will talk about it in other sessions. So that the next time you want to go there, you will easily identify the route. It will be more easier for you. Let's assume that you are using the GPS. The next time, the GPS may display the history, right? The history of the destination you typed earlier, maybe the last month or whatever. It will display that for you so that you can easily identify the last destination you used to go wherever you were going. That will be more easier for you. So the database will create a plan for you to access the data. So that's the same thing. When your query comes, database create a plan, and that plan is stored in a location called share secret area. So that is the plan the server process will use to go ahead and access the data itself. Now, the next time the SQL statement is coming again, if the plan is still there, because those plans are still managed, like the LRU, the old plan are flushed out. If the plan is still there, the database doesn't need to create a new plan again. So the database may assign the same plan to you. In that scenario, it's more faster because the database doesn't have to, the Oracle doesn't have to perform a lot of job, a lot of effort to create another plan for you because there's already a plan existing on the share pool. So Oracle will just give that plan to you and you just go and get the data. So that is what you guys call soft parsing because the plan is already there. But even to find that plan among multiple other plans is not easy. I took the example of a block, or let me even take your own WhatsApp group, unless the people you have been discussing with, you are discussing with them frequently, okay? You can find them on top of the list. But let's assume that on WhatsApp, someone like me, I belong to a lot of groups of Brontech from class 19 to now, with all these classes. So, and a lot of people, a lot of students contact me inbox. That means I have a lot of contact, a lot. So if I want to find somebody, even though I already have the contact, it'll be a bit difficult for me to find the person. Especially if I don't remember your name, and I just have to identify, okay? Just using my common sense, I may need to scroll down one by one to see if I can remember, if I can, okay, identify the person. So the soft parsing is not also something that is free. Some resources are also consumed because the server process or the optimizer has to find the plan among multiple other plans. And that can also consume resources. So, but now you don't want it to happen for frequent hand queries. So you may need to configure an area called the result cache for this type of query that are frequently run. And that result cache now, you can enable the result cache for a particular table, as I said, or for multiple tables or indexes. So that the next time, if a query was executed, and the result will be stored in the result cache. If similar query come, they will just grab the result of the previous query, right, from the result cache and just send the results straight to the user. No need to perform hard parsing, no need to perform soft parsing, because the result is already stored somewhere called the result cache. The result cache doesn't store the blocks. It just stores a result as a form of rows and columns. So that result will be sent to you and it will be more faster because there's no need to perform parsing. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right. So yeah, please, go ahead.
So the result cache, that's a part of the memory that you have to allocate for that job, for that particular job.
Yes, you enable the result cache. By default, it's not enabled. So you enable the result cache for a particular object. Okay. So and once you enable it, an area will be allocated in the share pool for it. So meaning if you want to enable the result cache, you should know that you need a bigger share pool because it needs some space. Okay. So to store this information.
So, is the result cache the same or synonymous to the keep pool?
No, the keep pool is in the buffer cache.
Okay.
The keep pool in the buffer cache is a special area you can configure in the buffer cache if you want some blocks to be kept longer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, to be flushed out. Okay, you want to be kept longer in the buffer cache, then you configure the keep pool. The result cache is in the share pool.
Oh, okay.
Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Okay, let's go. Let's proceed. What do we find in the buffer cache, and what are the algorithms that are used to manage the buffer cache?
LRU, least recently used.
Okay.
What find data blocks?
Okay.
Buffer cache.
All right. Good. Okay. Okay. What about the large pool? What is the user of the large pool?
Keeps blocks that are larger than the default. Is it 16K?
Come again, please.
I think the large pool keeps blocks that are larger than the default 16K, 8 kilobytes.
I think you're talking about
That's the NK buffer.
Right?
Oh, okay.
Large pool allocates memory to run large jobs like batch jobs.
Backups, all those stuff.
Backups, right.
Right? Refreshes, all those huge job, large job running the database, maintenance job, they need a large pool, okay, to accommodate that. Okay, what about the Resilog buffer? What's the Resilog buffer?
It keeps
Whenever
informations.
It keeps what, please?
Redo informations.
Okay. What else can we say?
it's a cyclical buffer.
Cyclical buffer, very good, yeah. Okay. What else?
It generates the system change number.
Nope. Nope. Anyway, you provided the two information I needed. Okay. What about the Java pool?
It also holds information about data in the database.
Yeah, that is basically Hadoop information.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's move to Java pool. What is the Java pool? Okay, so apart from regular SQL statement, you have some Java jobs that can be running. Some developer that can create some Java code running in a database. You always have, most of the time, Java code. Java is a programming language, okay? Like you have C++, Java, Python, all those stuff. So the Java pool is the area allocated for Java jobs. What if there's a Java code? Sometimes some Oracle provided code are Java, some of them. So they will run in the Java pool. So this area is just for Java code only. What about the screens pool?
We forgot.
All right. So help for streaming, replication. Okay. Replication. When we talk about data guard, active, logical standby, or golden gate, we talk about streaming, okay? Streaming means you want to replicate something from one location to another location. So the stream pools will be used to keep some, okay, some, something we call the log mining that will be used for replication purpose. So let's assume you want to use a tool that's a part of the project called Golden Gate that needs to replicate, for instance, a table from one database to another database, okay, like the material library does. You need some areas for in the stream pool to keep, okay, some processes, okay, and to keep some information again about those processes as well, or also to host the tool that we call the log mining process, the log mining job that reside on the streams pool. So streams just help for replication, data replication. Okay, now let's go to background processes. What do you know about the SMON process?
I think it initiates the instance recovery.
Good, yeah. What else do we know about it?
I think SMON coalesces unused segments on disk.
Okay. What else?
I think the SMON it covers information back to the buffer cache.
Yeah, that is instant recovery. Yeah, roll back and roll forward committed, right?
SMON also initiate instant recovery from redo log in case of crash.
Yes, correct. I think was that. You don't need to go back to your DB1 note. These are important. I will tell you the performance issue behind all those stuff. What about the PMON?
I think the PMON manages the log, and I mean it manages the log, it releases it, and it handles it to the next user in queue. And it also secures and protects us from hackers.
By killing idle instances.
You kill other instances? Idle processes or instances?
I mean, I'm sorry, idle processes.
Okay, idle user process.
User processes, yes.
Server processes, okay?
It registers databases to listeners.
Very good. Dynamic registration. Yeah, this is what some of the things I wanted to hear. Okay, you manage the logs, all those stuff, locking mechanism. That's what helps you to when it comes to the dead logs. That's what helps you to to resolve some of those stuff. What about the checkpoint process?
I think the checkpoint is a background process that advises the DB writer when to write on disk.
Good. What else?
Checkpoint update the console file, and that
And
will
what?
help others.
Good.
The SCNN number.
Yeah. Write the SCN in the control file. Yeah. Good. Those are the critical information I want. I don't need you to master everything. Okay. What about the log writer?
Log writer is a fast writer. It writes information from the redo log file.
How frequently?
Every 3 seconds.
Good. Okay, good. Critical information. What about the DB writer?
The DB writer is a smart writer that writes dirty buffers from the buffer cache to the data files.
Okay. Can we have in batches, okay? In batches. Can we have multiple DB writers?
Yes.
Of course.
Can we have multiple log writers?
No.
No, I don't think so.
Right, we cannot have multiple log writers. Why? On GB writer, you guys see GBW, there's a N there, right?
Is it WR or N?
GBWN, there's no R.
Oh, N for the integer.
Right?
It's not R.
It's not R.
I thought it was R.
No.
Okay.
You saw GBWN, right? A small n there, right?
Right.
Good. That is means the n can take multiple values. So you have multiple GB writer running. But the log writer is LGWR, small r. So you have one more log writer. Okay? That's a good question that I failed myself, okay? I just tell you that. So that you guys know that in an interview it can be asked. By Oracle itself. Okay. All right. What I just said, what we are talking about, why am I taking time on the architecture? Because performance issue can happen at the level of the share pool. It can happen at the level of buffer cache. It can happen at the level of Hudulok buffer. It can happen at the level of Hudulok files. It can happen at the level of disk storage. So what are the storage components you know? Physical storage component you know.
Data file.
Good.
We do log files.
Good.
Archive. No.
Control files.
Good. I heard archive log files. Good.
Parameter file.
Parameter files. Good. SP5, P5. Yeah. What, please?
Trace file.
Trace files. Very good. Password file. Very good.
Backup
What
file.
else? Backup file. Very good.
Alert log file.
Alert log. That's what I wanted to hear as well. Very good. Another file you know? Yeah, those are some critical files you guys need to know. All right. What are the logical structure you know?
Data blocks.
Table
Right.
spaces.
Let's go gradually, right? After data blocks, we have what?
Extend.
Okay.
Segments. Table space.
Table space.
Database.
Database.
All right. What is a table space?
Logical structure that contains
One or multiple data files.
Right.
Exactly. Logical structure that contains one or multiple data file. Can you add only one data file without you being able to add another one?
Say that again.
And a table space has only one data file without you being able to add another data file on it?
No.
Yes.
Those who say yes, what type of table space? How do we call that?
Big file table space.
Big file table space.
Big file table space. Big file table space. Let me mute people, please. Big file table space can contain only one data file. Yes, it is possible. Okay, so you can just increase the size of the data file, but you cannot have more data files on that, unless you want to convert into small file table space. All right. Good. Okay. Now, I want someone to try to tell me the life cycle of a SQL statement in the database. From the time the user issued the SQL till they get to the database, Tell me first the life cycle of a select statement in the database. Life cycle of a select statement in the database. Please try. This is an interview question that you need to be written. You have to be written. It has to be written somewhere. You need that. You should have it. Life cycle of a SQL statement. Nobody wants to try here?
For a SQL statement.
For a select statement, sorry. Life cycle of a select statement.
I can try for SQL statement.
No, it's the same thing. No worries. Go ahead.
Okay, the first step is to open the SQL statement. The second is parsing. The third step is execution, and the fourth step is return.
Okay. So do you know now how it works? Detailed step of how it goes from one to another one? What happens? What really happens in the background?
Not really.
Okay, good. At least you tried. That's good. Yes, who wants to try?
Yeah, when the user launches a SQL statement, it takes it to the, let me rephrase my.
Relax, take your time. No worries.
Let me try.
Miss Yvonne, you want to try again or you give up?
I'll try again. Just give me a moment.
All right,
Okay, let me try.
Okay, yes, so someone else can try and she will take later. Yes, one person, go ahead.
A user issues a select statement. A user process takes this statement into the shared pool. At the shared pool, it checks for authentication. If an SQL, a shared SQL area already exists, then the server process takes it into the buffer cache. It checks for the existence of a specific data block. If this data block exists at the buffer cache, then it takes it and returns it back to the user. If it does not exist, it goes down to the data file and checks and pick the data block, saves this data block at the buffer cache, and then returns the result to the user. But if a shared at the shared pool, if a shared SQL area does not exist for this particular select statement, then it goes through the process of parsing.
Good try. Thank you, sir. Who else wants to try or add something? Please say whatever you think of. Please. Don't hold yourself back. Please try. Nobody wants to try? Miss Renada, do you want to try?
Okay. So according to me, the user makes a request. Then the user process takes the request from the SQL and hands it over to the server process. Then the server process does the authentication. That is, he verifies the username and password. He checks if there is a similar SQL that was used. He does the parsing. He checks if what you're looking for actually exists. Then they bring it to the buffer cache. In the buffer cache, they actually check the information that is, if the information is found in the buffer cache, then you're gonna have the scenario of cache hit, and if not, they look for the data in the data file and bring it back to the buffer cache. And I mean, that's what I think.
All right, good try. Good try. Let me take another last person. Mr. Desmond, anything? Any idea about something? Is it Desmond or Desmond? I don't know. It's Desmond, right? Sorry if I spell it wrong. Okay, Mr. Bruno, can you try?
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
Sure.
So the user, always the client, issues the select statement as a user process, and it goes through a daemon process on the server called the listener, which pre-authenticates the statement. It checks for the port, the host, the service, and then
the protocol.
Yes, the protocol.
Yeah.
And then it goes through the PGA, which is the private global area. The PGA, it masks like the private information, like the credit card number and some private information in the SQL statement.
All right. Yeah.
And then it goes to the shared pool where it checks for an existing shared SQL area to get an access plan, or if the result cache was enabled for the table on which the select statement is being run. And then if there is an existing, after checking for the shared SQL, the shared SQL area, the statement is authenticated. In case there is no shared SQL area, a new access plan is built and the statement is passed, and then it goes to the buffer cache and checks where it hits if the data block which was queried is, if the data block is present in the buffer cache. In the absence of that, it goes to disk and copies the buffer block requested to the buffer cache, and then it is written, and then the redo log, the log writer writes it logs the change to the redo log files.
All right.
Yeah, that's thing.
Very good, Fry. A lot of information in what I said. A lot of them, right? A lot of right information and of wrong information. Okay, but in overall, that was a very, very good try.
Thank you.
Yes, I wanted some people to talk about it, and that was good. So definitely, just to hand off this session, because we should stop very soon. Whenever somebody issues a select statement, okay, again, there's a client process that will be generated on behalf of that, okay, operation. That client process, as your classmate just said, we hit the first line of defense called the listener. The listener is what we check for those 4 metrics you made mention of. Very good point. The host name. Is the host name okay? Is it really student 100 server you are trying to access? Is it the right port? Is it 1501, 1521? Is it the right port the listener is using? Is it the right protocol? Is it IPC? Is it TCP or what? Is it the right service you are using? The right service name or SID? After all those information, if one of them is wrong, you won't be able to connect to that server. After that, a server process will be generated on behalf of that user process. And a private global area will be created for the process, especially if you are dealing with a dedicated environment. Dedicated environment means one user process, one server process. So there's one server process that works on behalf of one user process, one-one relationship. When you share the environment, you have multiple user processes for one server process. So you need what we call a dispatcher. So in that scenario, multiple processes will be sharing the PGA. So once the PGA is allocated, and that PGA is actually what stores the session information, the information specific to that SQL statement. Like, as you said, you made mention of user ID and all those stuff, or SQL ID, all those information specific to the session, to the user who's trying to connect, will be stored in the PGA. And also the PGA is also that private area that can help any SQL statement, any session to perform sorting. What is a sorting? Sorting operation means maybe you want to order some data. Let's assume that you want to order some data of a column in ascending order or descending order. Okay, so all those stuff will not take place in the buffer cache. No, sorting operation takes place in the PGA. So a private session, that is why you can see data, the data can move straight from the disk to the PGA. If you just need to perform a sorting operation, the blocks doesn't need to go to the buffer cache. It can just go straight from the disk to the PGA or from the buffer cache to the PGA for the sorting operation. And that is what it is used for. So again, then the server process now, we go straight to the result cache. First, if it's enabled for that particular table, okay? To find out if there's already an existing result of that query in the result cache. Let's not forget that the result cache is also managed like the buffer cache, the LRU algorithm. So if we have a result that is very old, it can be flushed out by the database, by Oracle from the result cache. So the server process will come to the result cache to check if there's an existing result of the query. If yes, then the result will be sent directly to the user process. That's it. Nothing else will happen. But if no, then the server process now will go to the shared SQL area. After all those other authentication, meaning after the user ID is checked, after the object is checked, after the semantic, all those stuff, then it goes to the shared SQL area, okay? The first of all, it goes to the shared SQL area. If there is already a plan, if the query was run before and there was already a plan, okay, stored in the shared SQL area, the server process will use that plan to access the blocks in the buffer cache or the disk. If not, Then the optimizer is going to create a brand new plan for the SQL statement and store that plan in the share secret area. Okay. In case we have a baseline, a SQL baseline that exists, we talk about SQL baseline, a group will present about it. The optimizer can also get the plan from the SQL baseline. Again, we talk about it. So the plan now, after it's created, will be stored in the share secret area so that the next time a similar query are run, the same plan can be used. And then the server process will now use that plan in order to access the block. So once it goes to the data, the buffer cache now, if the block is found, that's what you guys call cache hit. We do whatever it has to do and send it to the user. If it's not found, then you may need to go to the disk and bring the block either to the buffer cache or the SDA. That's what you guys call cache miss. Okay? So, and it ends at this level for a select statement. But for a GML, it goes a bit further. Because for a GML now, you want to update the data. You want to change the data. So for the GML, after the optimizer has created a plan for you, now the first thing that happens, you don't just go to the buffer cache and just do what you want to do. No. The first thing that happens is an undo data is generated. So the query will check first if there's an undo data existing for that. If there's an undo data, you will just send it to the user. Or if you want to perform a change, an undo data will be generated and will be stored in the undo table space for rollback purpose. In case you want to change your mind, you can easily hold back because the undo data is the past copy of the data. So the undo data will be generated and stored in the undo table space. And then a lock, the session will acquire a lock on the block or on blocks. So because you want to change the block, you have to acquire the lock, right? So a lock, the session will acquire locks on the block, then perform the change. After the change is performed, a redo generation is generated. A redo data is generated. Redo data is the information about the change you just performed. That can be used for recovery purpose. That redo data will go to the redo log buffer. And after the redo data goes to the redo log buffer, the server process now will send the result to the customer. And that is why on your terminal, you are going to see one row inserted, one row updated, one row deleted, and so on, because the server process just sent the feedback. But the block is still locked. That process still has the lock on the block. Now, that is why now you have to issue a commit or a rollback. When you issue commit, for instance, now the redo that was written in the redo log buffer, the log writer will now write those redo on the disk. After they are written on the disk, now a confirmation will be sent to the server process. That confirmation is actually what means commit. When the redo is written to the disk, now the transaction is committed. So the server process now will now get that confirmation. The server process now will now release the logs, and now we now send the feedback to the user process. That is why on your terminal, you will see commit completed or rollback completed. That is what happens on a GML. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What we just perform now, you will have information about shell pool, whatever I said here. Okay. Buffer cache information here. Zillow buffer information here. Storage, whatever we talk about. The files, you can find them here. Logical block extend, you can find. Undo, you can find. I'll talk about it now. More questions you can ask next class. How the GML is processed, what I just said, bigger point are here. Whenever you run a GML code, what happened? This is what I just said. Okay? You see here. After you issue commit, what will happen? This is how some interview question will come. They ask you, what happened when the user issue a commit? This is what you have to say. What happened when you run a GML? This is what you have to say. make mention of key areas on this one. So, meaning that for next session, I will start on slide 12. And it will move more faster. Okay, any question before we leave the session today? We stop this, end the session. Any question regarding what we just did? Any question?
Nope.
All right, please, guys. I like questions. Okay. Don't worry about any type of question. Don't feel like your question is stupid or it doesn't make sense. You have any doubt? It's fine. It's ask for questions.
I got a question. It's not, we didn't talk much about it tonight, but the ADDM, does it only monitor the information from the AWR and give option as to what is a fix, or it also repairs some of those fixes?
No, the ADDM is an advisor. What you hear about advisor means just give advice on what is right or what is wrong and how to fix that, but it doesn't fix it actually. So the ADDM will use the statistics and make interpretation about the statistics. Okay, database statistics, interpret the statistics, and tell you what is actually wrong on your system, what you don't need to fix, and we also tell you what you have to fix, what is wrong, and provide you recommendation on how to fix it. That is why it's a very useful tool. Okay, so it doesn't fix that actually. So the ADDM, basically, let's take an example. The ADDM can detect that the buffer cache is full. Okay, you need more space on the buffer cache. The ADDM will tell you, okay, contact the memo advisor for best recommendation. So you now contacting the memo advisor. The memo advisor can tell you that you need to add a certain amount of space. Sometimes the ADDM will give you the space you need to add, okay? But sometimes it can also send you to other advisors. Let's take another example. You can see that actually during that interval of time, you are having slow running, you are having some sequence statements that are affecting the system or the database. It will detect those sequence statements and list them in the ADDM report. So in that scenario now, it will now send you to the sequence tuning advisor for best recommendation on how to tune this sequence statement. So it's basically an advisor who grab statistics about the entire database and give you recommendation on how to resolve some issues on the entire database. Does it make sense?
Yes, I just thought that there were certain like minor fixes that the ADDM usually do without call like sending out advice, but that's good to know.
It doesn't fix anything. A group will present it and they will have to show us how to generate it. That's what will help us to to see how it works. And okay, that'll be very important. So yes, ADDM, AWR, we need practicals. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else? Any other question?
Yeah, real quick, can you please tell us what the IO buffer, response queue, request queue, free memory, the last one?
All these things. We have when you talk about batch jobs, okay, all those batch jobs are taking place in this, in this particular large pool. And there are some of them I don't know, okay? I don't know, for instance, the which one? Request queue? It's request queue, okay? So for instance, whenever a job, for instance, is trying to run, a big job is running in the database, okay? It needs some space to be executed properly. And the large pool should provide that space, okay? So that free memory is used for that. In case there's more space needed, that free memory is what will increase. so that you can grab that memory from the buffer cache, okay, so that that job can have enough space or enough memory, to use in order to run. And we should know that those jobs that are running are performing input-output operation. They need some information from the disk sometime. If you are trying to perform a backup job, the backup needs to go to the disk, okay, to grab the information about the database or the data, backup. And so that buffer is just there. That is where all those stuff happen. It's like the buffer cache, when you have to go to the disk and bring the data to the buffer cache, right, to perform the change. So RMAN or whatever job you are running as a batch job also need a buffer area from where you can grab the data from the disk or from the buffer cache, bring it there to perform the operation, okay? And after that now, there can be a queue. That means it depends. If you have multiple jobs that are running, okay, on the large pool, okay? So you can have what we call a response. So meaning that they have to provide feedback after they are completed. So, and they provide feedback gradually. For instance, we have some big jobs that can provide, let me take an example. Let's take a big code, a PSQL package that have to run multiple queries, okay? And in that scenario, every single query, every time it runs one of the queries, there's a result, okay? There's a feedback that is returned. So the response queue is just a queue, okay? Followed by all the jobs that are running in the large pool. So they follow that queue. The request queue is what I don't master on this stuff. Request queue, I don't remember, okay? Maybe I may need to check one. Basically, that is an overall overview of what really happens in the large pool, okay? If you are asked, if they ask you that question, for instance.
Okay, nice. Thank you very much.
All right, no problem. Question? Questions? Okay, guys, so thank you for your time today. I will meet you to Wednesday next time for this week, 6 p.m. And we'll proceed from where we stopped. And please, I need a list of all the groups. By tomorrow, I have to send out all those presentations. Okay. And any question, if you have any question for me for the next session, please don't hesitate to ask questions. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys, and
thank you,
have a good night, and let's meet on Wednesday. Okay.
All right. All right. Good night.
Thank you.